Hello everyone, James Cassidy here, and I have something I really want to share. In between of doing podcasts, I thought about a theory about something, and I would like to share it. Unfortunately, I don't feel like typing it because I'm a little lazy at the moment, so I'm just going to do this recording and add it to the forum anyway. So if you want to respond to it, or do you want to go on the, or if you're on the forum and you want to respond, please, let me know. Let me know what you think, and I'll try to respond as quickly as I can. Anyway. You remember how we always say that NaruHina would be a forced couple if it became canon in the manga? Now I know we say this a lot, us, Narusaku fans, we say this a lot because, well, is it not true? I mean, we have the evidence to support it, we have the development that supports Narusaku, and at this point in time, with all the events that have happened, and the supposed big thing that happened between NaruHina lately, if it did not make it canon already, how can it not, how can we not say it couldn't be canon now? If all that happened and NaruHina is still not canon, if Naruto is still not looking at Hinata any differently, I'm sorry, it's never going to happen, and this is why we say it's forced. It's a little late in the game to all of a sudden throw this development in between these two people. But that's a key word here, isn't it? Development. We look at the development of Narusaku is all the time, how they grew up from part 1 to part 2, how they developed a relationship. Yes, Sakura did not like Naruto in the beginning, but as we could see, that changed throughout the course of the history of the manga, and it happens quite a lot within stories. It happens so frequently, in fact, that pretty much almost all anime couples start out that way. That first they hate each other, or they don't like the way each other are, or they see negatively on the other one, and develop to love them for who they are. Anyway, to go back to my original point, NaruHina is not a coupling that is a forced one, or that is going to be forced if it's canon. It is a coupling that is already forced. What does that mean? Well, let me put it this way. Think of all the NaruHina scenes that have ever happened throughout this manga. Two of the biggest ones is the confession and chapter 615. Think about that again. Think. Really. Do they seem like they worked out in some way? Do they seem like they belong there? Of course, 615 is the bigger culprit of this than I actually want to believe. Anyway. Going back, look at the confession. We have Hinata who jumps into the fray, who says to herself, I'm going to do this for Naruto's sake. Who says that, okay? This is what her mindset is, that she's going to do that for Naruto, but she doesn't do anything. And I know I hear NaruHina fans are going to say to me, oh, but she did it because she cares, she did it because she loves him. Of course she did, but she did it for the wrong reasons. She didn't really help Naruto. In fact, I could argue she has made the situation much, much worse. She didn't try to remove the rods in Naruto. She didn't even try to attempt to distract Pain and tell Naruto, oh, I'll distract him long enough, you try to get up. No, she didn't even try doing stuff like that. Didn't even go in thinking of a plan. She went in, confessed that she loved him, and then got her butt handed to her. Severely, I might add, to the point that Sakura had to save her. That's a big deal. That is a really big deal. But does that scene seem a little awkward to you? Does it seem like it belongs there? Honestly, I don't. When I think of that scene now, when I look back on that scene all the time, it feels so forced. It feels like a writing mechanic just to push the story along, and that's what a lot of NaruHina fans, a lot of NaruHina scenes seem to be about. It's a forced plot device to move the plot forward, or to complete the character arc, to complete the character development. And it's always so forced when it comes to NaruHina. It's always a situation that Hinata happens to be there, happens to do something silly, happens to do something, and it causes this chain of events that so happens to save Naruto's life. It's all pure luck, and in reality, if she were to really do this, she not only could get herself killed, she could get Naruto killed rather easily. I mean, it's only luck that Minato thought ahead and put the safety locks on the seal so that Kurama didn't lose. You know, so that Kurama didn't take over Naruto, didn't take over his essence and killing him in that very moment. We'll move forward from there, though. We'll go to chapter 615. Now, this is probably the most guilty scene I have ever seen when it comes to forced development. We have Neji dying, taking a bullet for both Naruto and Hinata. He dies. Naruto, who has understood death before, who has accepted death before, who has had some of his family members that he loves so much die, has witnessed people almost dying, and has, you know, grieved over it constantly. This is especially with Jiraiya. After Jiraiya died, he grieved over it, he grieved over it, he grieved over it, and then it took, crap, I forgot his name. It'll come to me. It took... Oh, well, you know who I'm talking about. He comes in, his first teacher, he comes in, and he tells Naruto, don't let death affect you. It's a part of life. You gotta learn to move on. Jiraiya trusted in you with his faith. He trusted you that you're going to bring about the right answers to the world, that you're going to change the world, that you're going to make things better. And after Naruto learned that, he learned to accept Jiraiya's death because he was the representation that Jiraiya wanted to be. He was the representation of all hope Jiraiya had, and he learned to accept his death. Now, why all of a sudden does Neji's death cause this weird thing where he kind of relapses and all of a sudden thinks, oh my god, one of my best friends died, I'm gonna give up, I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna just give in right now, only to have Hinata, who comes in out of nowhere, slaps him across the face and says, hey, I'm gonna say the exact same thing that everybody has said to you before, prior to this, when other people have died, and I'm gonna say it in a way that is going to look like a complete NaruHina moment. Then you're going to hold my hand, which ends up being nothing, and you're going to give me chakra, and I'm going to be the super powerful Hyuga that is more powerful than Neji and can block attacks and stuff like that. And it's such a forced scene. And this is why NaruHina will never be canon, because it's always forced. You look at comparing to Narusaku's development, you look at how it flows nicely from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, and you see the way the sequences just line up perfectly and how they develop over the course of the manga. But you look at NaruHina stuff, and there's always these missing elements, these missing points, where all of a sudden people think that all of a sudden that Naruto is just going to love Hinata when there's like these pockets of where they didn't even interact. And I know this is probably stating the obvious to the Narusaku fans, but come on. I mean, this is just more emphasizing of why NaruHina is not going to happen, because there is not much into it, and whenever there is something into it, it's so forced. It is forced to the point that it just breaks the flow of the manga. It breaks everything. And it's utterly ridiculous. How can you base a love relationship on two characters where their complete interaction is always based around a forced scene, where some drama that happens and the character has to go in and save the day, or the scenes degrade the main hero just so Hinata can have this moment where she's better than Naruto, even though throughout the whole manga, really, Hinata's only been following Naruto's words. So is she really inspiring Naruto to be better, or is she just reminding him of what he kept saying all the time, or what everyone kept saying all the time? And it's really gotten to me to the point, it's just, how can NaruHina fans see this couple happening? I mean, is it based off part 1 stuff? Because I could okay, she loved him first. I understand that. She was the first one to really love him for who he is. However, she never expressed this until part 2. Where was she when Naruto was alone? Where was she when Naruto was miserable? She didn't show up. Where was she when Jiraiya died? Shouldn't she be the first one to stand up then? But she just so happens to be standing there when Neji died, so it's of course that she's going to say something. What happened to the points where Naruto was so miserable and upset, and he needed somebody, and nobody was there except, and not even Hinata was there. Okay, Sakura wasn't there either on a couple times. Sakura wasn't with when Jiraiya died either. But Hinata wasn't there either. And there are a couple times where Sakura was there and Hinata wasn't. My point is that Sakura has been with Naruto for more than Hinata has, so she has a better understanding of Naruto's mentality. Now, I'm going to say something here. People always want to say that Hinata's young, she makes mistakes. So is Sakura. She's also young. She's also makes mistakes. So we're going to have to give her that one as well for the times that she didn't do something when she should have, that she didn't do so. So if we're going to make excuses for one, we got to make excuses for the other. If we're going to accuse one of the other, then we're going to have to accuse Sakura. I'm not excusing Sakura for all the bad that she did. I'm not saying that she hasn't made mistakes herself. I'm just saying that she has done more to help Naruto than Hinata ever did throughout this entire manga. Even if it was a failure, she has done more to try to help him throughout the history of this manga. And this whole abusive thing where she hits him, come on, really, you need to get over that. It really needs to stop with that argument. I'm so sick of hearing it, you know. And then you look at manga like Love Hina, Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Panic, where this stuff also happens to a pairing that also becomes canon in the end. It does. Read it for yourself if you don't believe me. What about Fruits Basket? Kyo hit Toru quite a few times. He caused her to bleed quite a few times. I don't remember seeing Sakura making Naruto bleed. There was one time when Kyo smashed a table, smacking it into Toru's face, causing her to bleed in this reckless motion of anger because he hates Yuki. Is that bad? Is that not just as bad or worse? That this person is willingly damaging someone because he can't control himself? And it's not like Naruto couldn't dodge these attacks. He's one of the fastest ninja in the village. His speed is awesome. You don't think he could dodge Sakura's punches? You don't think... And, you know, here's another thing. Every time she does punch him, he gets right back up. Nothing. No injuries. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. He comes up perfectly fine. So, what does that tell me? Could it be that this is just for comedy's sake? Yes, it is. Yes, of course it is. It's comedy. So please, please, NaruHina fans, please stop with the abusive argument. It's getting old. It's getting really, really old. And if that's the only thing that you got going for you, you might as well give up on debating, because that's just wrong. But I will say this, NaruHina fans. I will give you this one. I propose a challenge to you, NaruHina fans. I want you, if you can, whether in a video, a post, a text, it doesn't matter, whatever you think, tell me why you think NaruHina is the canon ending. But here's the catch. You cannot diminish Sakura in any way. You cannot bash her into the ground. You can't poke any negativity that Sakura has done or what you think she has done. You have to be pro-NaruHina, and you have to do it without diminishing the competition. You're probably wondering if I could do this for Narusaku. I can. And if you want me to, I could prove it. I could make another complete video of me supporting Narusaku without diminishing Hinata at all, not even mentioning her, because that's how much development Narusaku has. I could do it without even mentioning Hinata once. And I could do it perfectly. So, that's my challenge for you, NaruHina fans. If you're listening, if you get this video, if you listen to every single one of my words, first of all, don't get mad. Okay? This is a problem. Don't get mad, NaruHina fans. I respect your opinion. I will respect your opinion. Just because I do not like Hinata does not mean I don't respect her in some some form. I just don't like the way her character is portrayed. She's a fine character, but she kind of has a lot of more problems than she has pros. So, you know, I wish she was more. I wish she had more, but she doesn't. She's stuck in this infinite record loop. But I digress. I will respect your opinion. If you do a video or whatever you want to do, whatever you feel, you could use facts from the manga. You could use facts from anything. Don't use the anime because that's kind of crap. We all know the anime is full of filler, so you can't use that. You have to use the manga, and you cannot diminish Sakura in any way. You cannot diminish the competition girl in any way, otherwise you forfeit the argument right off the bat. So tell me, in your own words, any way you want to, why is NaruHina the best couple for the ending of this manga? Thank you.